You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Rush After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Rush After Show.
Hello, everybody. All right, it's the Pixies.
Where is my mind? Pretty classic.
It's a good choice.
Yeah. Well, I thought so. It's very fitting with the title being of the same name.
Where is my mind? Thank you guys for joining us here at AFTERBUZZ TV. And this is the Rush After Show, episode 5.
I know, we're already 5 episodes in. I'm surprised it's gone so quickly.
It's incredible. So, you know, it's funny because where is his mind?
Right, exactly.
This is the question. So, you know, the episode opens with him having a gnarly dream. He's paranoid. It's haunting him that he slept with his dad's wife. And, you know, it's her telling. He's terrified of her telling. And so that was very funny. You know, he was peeking through the hole, thinking his dad's going to come. Corinne, I always say her name wrong.
Corinne, I think
Corinne
is how they say
is coming. And she's like, I told your father. And he's like, what? You know, and so this is kind of the theme. He's paranoid, as he should be, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he definitely made a mistake.
Big mistake.
Slept with his stepmom. So, I mean, there is some
residual feelings.
Exactly.
Which I think, big mistake. So he has got himself worked up. He's, you know, he's having panic attacks. He's, you know, paranoid. And he goes to see his friend Alex. And Alex is like, yo, you're having anxiety and you need to take a day off. Doctor's orders. So Rush is like, all right. You know, he doesn't like to take days off. That's hard.
Right. I mean, this is the first time where they've let us know sort of the timeline. I mean, it's sort of unknown to the viewer up until now that it's kind of an everyday thing. And this is the first where it's like he does not work.
Never. He couldn't sit still, so he goes and he's by the pool, and even there he can't take a break from, at least like when he's resting, he's still, you know, scoping out women.
Right. I mean, he's still Rush.
He's Rush, and it's so cute because he's sitting at the pool trying to relax, and he's very anxious and he's having a hard time relaxing. And then he lays his eyes on the gorgeous brunette Jordana, and he sees her, and what does he do? Right away starts scoping. He's talking to the waiter like, you know the drill.
Yeah.
You know, and he just gets his game face on. It's very funny, you know. He looks at her and he walks up to her, and they obviously have a history.
Exactly. I was sort of don't want to say disappointed, but I want to see Rush sort of pick up someone that he hasn't known before. Yeah. Sort of to see his A game in full force.
Right.
It was kind of, I guess they did it for time, that they had a backstory, and so it was very easy for him to just be like, hey, what's up?
Yes. Hey,
what's
how
going
you
on?
doing
And
again?
then just like reignite the flames.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to see his game sort of in a natural environment.
Without here comes Rush.
Right.
You know.
Like, yeah, what would he do if he just saw an unknown beautiful woman?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know, maybe he wouldn't go up to her. Who knows? Maybe he would be intimidated or scared. I doubt it. But anyways, Jordana Rourke. Can you say it for me? Because obviously I can't say it.
I think Jordana is pretty good.
Yes. Anyways, so he goes up to her and she's like, I was wondering how long it would take you to come up to me. And, you know, he's flirting with her and she's like, you know, get a tuxedo. You're coming with me to a premiere tonight. And she kind of demands, and she tells him. And
and that his tuxedo, which was Daniel Craig's, pretty awesome, is not good enough.
It needs to be Tom Ford. You need to wear did she say blue? For a blue Tom Ford tuxedo.
I think she said black. He's the one that had the midnight blue.
Oh, yeah, in the end.
Which is, again, awesome.
So black. And so then he calls Eve in on a Sunday. And, you know, it starts off, he's looking through her, she gets some flowers, and there's a card, and he's trying to open the card, but he was unsuccessful, and she walks in, and he's like, oh, there's, you know, some flowers, and he's being nosy, and she's like, did you read this? And he's like, no, you know, but he's still, you can see the whole episode, he was so anxious. Like, everything he did was, like, he had just, you know, had a whole bunch of cough here or something.
Right. I mean, he was very much so in a daze the whole episode.
Totally.
I mean, starting off
In a
sort of
fog.
in that nightmare scene. It sort of set the stage for him just freaking out. And he had sort of anxiety attacks, and they got progressively worse as the episode went on.
And so he was acting like totally. So, you know, Eve, he's calling her in, and he's a little somewhat abusive of Eve in the sense that he is just, you know, when I need you, come. Do it, you know.
Right.
He has no regard for her day off, you know, has her running around like crazy, you know, and she does it. She does whatever he asks.
And even doctors who are, you know, on call that like do the 24-hour-a-day thing do that only like for part of the week. They have like I think 3 days or something.
3 days on, 4 days off.
Exactly.
He goes hard all the time.
Firefighters, I think, are like that. There are people that do a similar on-call system, but not like they still have a off period, a weekend. Like
he doesn't know how to take time off.
Right.
He doesn't want to slow down. Like he's one of those people that the quiet is not good for him. He needs the noise and the movement, and you know.
Exactly.
So, anyways, the flowers are from.
JP.
I mean, we knew they were going to be from JP, right?
Actually, I mean, I thought it was going to be from the new guy.
Did you?
But then, I mean, they threw the JP in there. I was surprised actually that they didn't bring the other assistant back into the picture and sort of make like even if they in some small way, like a phone call or something.
He'll be back, but we just don't know at what capacity. And JP, her face, you know, her face was, and then Rush is like, oh my God, well, I'm going to throw away the flowers. And she's like, no, don't throw them away. But then later she throws the flowers away, and we're going to have to find out at some point, you know, what did JP do?
Right.
But so she throws the flowers away, and Rush is off, and he orders her to go get the tuxedo, and she does. And so then Alex, Dr. Dangerous. So now this girl.
I know, he's really come up from Carlton Banks to Dr. Dangerous.
He's the man now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he is.
Yeah, I think they were calling him Dr. Khaki Pants.
Yeah, khaki.
So
yeah, I think that's what it was.
He's clearly.
He went, from that whole Carlton Banks kind of feel to the cool guy because he did something naughty. And so the young lady comes up to him like, was it her dad or no, her brother? Who was it who has...
a family member.
A family member, and she needs to get drugs. And I sense, and I think, I mean, that there's some attraction, or he's liking this, and she's coming to him, she needs him. And she seduced him in a small way, like, you're Dr. Dangerous now, and you know...
Right. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't overly intense, like where it was, you know, breach of his marriage or anything like that. But it definitely was something.
The possibility is now open.
The attention, it was definitely different than what he was used to. I think he's always been sort of on the sidelines as Rush's sidekick in a sense, and he sees that. You know, the bad boy image obviously has
some perks, right?
Yeah, exactly. It does
now
have some perks.
You could just see his face kind of like, well.
Yeah, and he was like, yeah, I like the sound of that. That's
pretty cool.
Awesome.
And he's like, no. And then he calls his boy, and he's starting to, you know, get his swag a little, unfortunately doing bad things. But
yeah, although I think that he just morally is a good character where he didn't make the decision to help eventually because he wants to like change his image. I think it's more the fact that he just saw the greater good in the scenario.
And he had that moment when he saw her wheeling him in and like, okay, she's telling the truth. There's the guy.
Right.
She cares about him. He's suffering. I can do this because I can make a phone call, call Rush, and he can help.
Yeah, and there are certain things that I feel like are more formalities and just logistical stuff that get in the way sometimes. And it's a difference of, you know, like there's following the law and then there's like being like a good citizen.
Yeah, and this, I guess, was that. He was being a good citizen.
Yeah, like a morally good. Like this person is in need of help. Like just because there's a regulation on this thing in this country.
So he did it, but and he gets to be the man also.
Right.
But you know that hug was a long hug. It wasn't, and he was enjoying it, and the attention. And you got to think, his wife is a little bit, she's controlling and she's bossy, so he's actually vulnerable to fall. Not that this is going to happen, who knows?
Yeah.
But he's in a position where, because she's so controlling, she kind of emasculates him.
Oh, absolutely,
He's an easy target to, some girl comes up, gives him a little attention.
Exactly. It's nice to see him get the power back a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
And I mean, as a doctor, I think they get into that profession because they want to help people. They, naturally just want to fix things. And
so he gets to...
Yeah, exactly. He gets to do that.
Yeah, to do that. And then, even though he's supposed to take the day off, Rush is unable, and he's telling Eve, I need to do something. Give me something. And so then they have the yurt.
Yes, yurt. Of course, they go to the sort of tech company.
Yes.
Google clone, a little bit earlier phase, but it's still, I mean...
We've got the bouncy house.
Exactly. The bouncy house. It's very Google-esque, very young. Everybody's, informally dressed in like t-shirts
casual,
and stuff. Very
cool
casual, very casual
environment. And he walks in and he's so anxious. He's like, I just want to do, here I am, I'm here. And he goes there, Eve is like, go ahead, go down there. And he negotiates his salary without her,
Right.
And they're like, we'll give you $10,000 a month. And then he's like, I want 20,000.
Right, doubles it.
He
to
doubles
20.
it, and he's like, I'm the man. He's like, so what do you? And they're like, oh, we don't need you. We just need a doctor on staff, like everybody else.
Because Google and Facebook have one, so we're gonna have one too.
Yeah, and they're like, we'll call you when we need you. And he's like, oh gosh, because he's restless. He wants to do something. So and then later, Eve is disappointed in him because she's like, we need to get stock options. Like,
right. I mean, she's very smart. She's
proven to be a
extremely
badass.
savvy, and she's a huge asset to Rush's team. I mean, without her, I think he would fall apart. I mean,
he doesn't realize it, or if he's not. He probably does, but yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's got such raw talent. He sort of gets blinded by what he's doing and doesn't really.
Like she's running.
Dot the I's and cross the T's as much, and he needs her to do that. I mean, he wouldn't have even had a tux. I mean, it doesn't.
She's that woman holding him up.
Right.
What is that saying? Like, behind every great man is a great man is a great woman. Something like that.
True.
You know what I mean?
No,
and
absolutely.
It's true.
I mean, no one can do this alone. As good as Rush is, and as his genius is so intense, he still needs help.
Totally.
He still needs someone,
her.
Yeah, exactly, a support system.
And she's on it. Like, even if she's annoyed and she's frustrated, she is doing her
day
job.
off. As she should be. She should be very pissed. I would be too. But I mean, it's great to see her sort of take control and just nail it out of the park.
Totally.
She went in, negotiated with those guys, and just knew her stuff so well.
Yeah. And she threw in the Jordana thing, and that got them. They're young, so they're like, he's going to the premiere with a celebrity. And so she linked those two, like, she's working it.
Yeah, she totally just destroyed that negotiation.
Yeah, totally. She's like, I didn't really like the deal he made, so I'm here to change it up.
I like how they picked the tech company, too, just because, I mean, everybody associates Silicon Valley with everything.
Yes.
And now it's actually coming down to LA a little bit. They call the West Side Silicon Beach.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. I just heard that
Silicon
like a few
Beach.
weeks ago.
That's really cool. And so that's a little taste of it then.
Exactly.
Which is another exciting thing,
Yeah, another awesome
LA
thing
just
that LA
keeps getting more and more exciting.
Indeed. Indeed.
So then we get a call from Miss Atchison, the butler of Miss Atchison, who's an older woman who she thinks she has worms crawling out of her arms, and
yuck.
Yeah, she's like, they're in, please, and he's like, no, I don't have it, and she has some type of syndrome, and Rush is kind of like, look, I'm sorry, I have to go, and she needs psychiatric help, and I gotta go, I'm sorry, and he kind of like just leaves, like he can't deal with the worms in her arm. There are no worms, and he wants to go, but then later I thought it was really cool that he came back. Later on, the butler called him again, and this time he went, and that was so cute when he came back, and he pretended to pull worms out of her arm to relieve her,
Exactly. I think at that point, he really knew that there was something more going on, and in helping people, which is what he wants to do, like signing up for doctor, you sort of have to assess the situation for what it is. I mean, he had some episodes that led him to that way of thinking.
Yes.
And it sort of made him realize, like, when he was helping out, when the cop, Harry Grant, called him in, and he, went to help that pool cue situation.
Yeah.
And then he just had a flat-out anxiety attack.
And was down for the count.
And, he was seeing things. He saw Corinne with that same pool cue, and like when you are in that place, like there are so many things that can affect you, like more so than just physical ailments.
So he was able to be like, I got you, you know, you're having...
Right,
And he helped her because, you know, I thought that was really cool that he helped her pull the worms out, and that was, like you said, connected to him having his...
Definitely. And then their conversation got a little bit deeper after that. I mean, once he sort of... on that level was like, yes, you know, just helping you out, like mentally giving you that peace of mind.
What did she say about the worm? She said, you can't keep them inside you because they're monsters inside you. And then he realized that that's his monster. And so he told her, you know, I slept with my dad's wife.
Just the layers
I slept with
of
my
the onion.
stepmom. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So then he's roaming the city. He's very anxious. Corinne is calling him. He's not answering. He calls Manny, like, Manny, you know,
I need some weed
I need some weed now. And so Manny's like, you got to come here. It's my day off. You know, so Rush goes down to Manny's house. And it's kind of cool to see Rush like that because he's a regular guy. Like, he doesn't seem today, you know, in this episode, like a Harvard grad. He's acting like kind of like a street dude. You know what I mean? Like, he's doing his drugs. He's, you know, buzzing around. It was more about him, you know, this episode. But anyways, he goes to Manny's house and Manny's like, here. Rush is like, I don't have the money. I'll give it to you later. And Manny's like, you know, my dad's having problems with his leg. My dad hates doctors. Can you help me out? Rush goes into the party and he's the, you know, the life of the party. He's the man. He's drinking, got people comfortable, gets the dad comfortable.
Yeah, telling stories.
Yeah.
Gets the dad to bust out the good stuff, the top shelf. I like that. I mean, classic Rush move to push the boundaries a little bit.
Totally.
But at the same time, that was a moment where I saw Rush just like really paying it back to Manny. I mean, he didn't charge him. I mean, they sort of have a friend relationship where they don't really charge each other as much for the various
but every once in a while,
But it was interesting to see him sort of enjoy himself almost at the barbecue and just sort of...
And it wasn't like, you owe me one. You know how they do, like,
exactly.
you owe me.
He wasn't rushing into anything.
Exactly. He just helped him out, and the dad got up and he checked out his legs and he went and had a little talk with him and gave him Dr. Alex's...
Exactly. He sort of found a very appropriate and incognito way to assess the situation, which I thought was
he's like, you can lose a couple toes if you don't deal with this. You might have diabetes. It was really well done. Well done, Rush.
It was very discreet.
Yes.
He did it in a way that both Manny knew that he was taking care of the issue, and the dad could be honest and sort of say, like, knowing that he's saving face and not showing any weakness.
Yes.
He can still get the help that he needs
without his son having to tell him. You know, it was one of those moments where, you know, I guess he has to stay cool for the kids. You know, so then it was kind of cool because they're outside smoking. You know, leaning on a car, just hanging there, and then cops come whipping around. Get in the car, and he's like, "What? No, this." And Manny's like, "Oh no, he's got a license."
He's got a license for that.
He has a license for that. He's like, "Get in the car now." So Rush is in the car, like, "Why are you? Am I under arrest?" Like, you know, and the cop is like, "I cannot tell."
Yeah, so Rush pulls the old lawyer card and really threatens him, and then gets the answers. His old friend, Harry Grant, with the whole pool cue incident.
That was, like, intense. So there's...
I mean, a few things, I mean, aside from just the story of it happening, sort of caught me. I mean, one, how did the cops find him there? He was just at Manny's house. Like,
how did... And he even said
like
that.
Rush tracking
and he was like,
system?
I can find anyone with a cell phone in 60 seconds. That's what he said.
Oh, right, okay.
He said that, but how... Come on, I don't know if that's really possible. But he found Rush in 60 seconds, I guess.
Big brother.
Where were they? In a pool hall on the premises of the police station? It was like...
I think they were off duty because none of those two that were involved were wearing
so they're just off duty, but it was a police situation where two partners...
they were partners.
Yeah, and one of them slept with the other one's wife, and I guess he decided to put a pool stick through his
clearly
torso.
Not handling it well.
No, he was mad.
Yeah,
so,
PO'd.
Yeah, do not do that. Note to self, don't sleep with partner's wife.
It's not nice.
Not nice at all. It's not nice. So I guess the stake through his heart was kind of like, yo.
Yeah, I luckily missed his heart.
Yeah,
because it looked like it was on his right
It was
side.
Really,
But I'm surprised that when they pulled it out, I mean, I don't know how long after he was stabbed that they pulled it out, but I was sort of expecting to see, like a fountain of blood explode out of him. I'm glad that I didn't, because that was
it was weird, and I mean, I don't know, I mean,
And saran wrap.
yeah,
Of course. Just
he
fix that
saran
right
wrapped
up.
and there wasn't a lot of blood. And I'm assuming they when they do these scenes and stuff that they really know like what would really happen. So maybe in a situation like that, it wouldn't be gushing blood because of where, who knows.
Right.
It just got through the fat and went through his stomach. But anyways,
Yeah,
they wrap him up.
Exactly. I'm surprised that they pulled it out like that because I was, to my knowledge, which is extremely limited, when you get like stabbed like something like that, you're not supposed to pull it out because it like brings stuff with
Yeah,
it.
and ooh, gives me chills. And it was
I'm
like an
surprised they pulled
intense
it out, but-
moment. Him pulling that pole out of him was like, it wasn't just easy. It was like he was yanking it. At first, the guy yanked back, and so anyways, he pulls it out. Then he just wraps him up in saran wrap, and it was cool because he actually was able to go look, send him to the hospital. Say he fell off of a ladder and got impaled.
Right.
Keep it moving. And so, he thinks quick. He's on his feet. And then, of course, as we talked about earlier, he passes out. He has another moment.
A panic attack.
Panic
Exactly.
attack. And Corinne is coming to get him. Like that's
I know,
always,
yeah,
like,
she's everywhere.
she's
Spooky.
coming. So, he
Great
has,
casting with that actress as well. Because I mean, she's very attractive, but she also has like an X element that's sort of mysterious
Yes.
and I don't know. She's like innocent, but also spooky too.
She's
Like
little
there's a
spooky.
creepiness.
There's a creepiness.
Yeah.
To her, and I have a feeling she's going to be a real, thorn in his side. I have a.
Oh yeah,
It's going to be like he's going to be a sex slave, or he's going to have to tell his dad. But I guess that was getting into
Yeah, well,
predictions. But anyway, so he passes out. His friend is like, not his friend. Well, his friend, the cop.
Yeah.
Is like, yo, you had a panic attack, and I guess you can tell when people. And he was like, relax. Like Rush couldn't even accept that. He's like, just give me some space, man. He didn't really want to hear.
well, it's sort of the
that.
same story. Like he's
Yeah.
been told to slow down, and he's not listening because he thinks that he just has to be this way, like a mile a minute.
Yeah.
But it's really starting to catch up with him here, where we like realize like it is too much for him to handle. He just
This is
fell
a
down
problem.
and hallucinated.
Yeah. So, I mean, he calls Corinne. If I can't get her name right, it's going to be a problem soon. But he finally calls, she's calling him, and he's declining the calls from earlier. And and finally he calls her, and he decides to meet her. And then, he's like, it was a mistake. And she's like, it was a mistake. She was creepy, like you said. She's like,
Yeah, it was an interesting scene to say the least, because she was very much so on the same page with him. Like they're not going to tell his dad. They're going to keep it between them. And then he's like satisfied with that, is about to leave, and then she says like, "But we'll always know."
Yeah,
like,
and
has
then he's
to
like-
say that one last thing.
he was like, come again? And she's like, we'll always know. He's like, yeah, we will, but we won't talk about it. And she's
Yeah.
like, but we can still think about it. And, and he was like,
Yeah, I get the feeling that she definitely wants it to happen again, and is going to be
fatal attraction.
right. Exactly. I think I mean, granted, if you're involved in a family, I feel like the son that's your own age is obviously a more compatible match than his dad.
But that's her fault. She married Warren first. And
completely her fault. Yeah.
And so, she's a cuckoo bird. And, Rush is like, please don't tell. But it's not just because his dad, he does not want to hurt his sister. He's
Right.
like, please, don't tell. So, he's going to do whatever. And she's going to have him wrapped around her finger because he's going to do whatever to make sure this doesn't get out.
Yeah, I mean, she's a bit of a gold digger, as we know.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm curious to see how she plays it moving forward. With how, I mean, she is very invested with the family, with the daughter, and she doesn't want to lose his dad. But at the same time, I feel like she is setting herself up to push his boundaries and sort of see
What she can get out of him.
yeah, and just maintain like another connection with him. It doesn't seem like she's dropping it as much as he is,
Yeah.
which brings us back to the whole worm thing. If you don't let it out, like it's going
gonna
to
fester.
right. I mean, there's
So-
no good way for this to end. Like, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's going to be, I mean, I don't know what it's going to be, but anyways, okay, so then I guess we already talked about Alex giving the medicine to the girl, and they have their long hug, and he's feeling good. And then, Rush has Eve running around like a chicken with her head cut off. She's getting one tuxedo. Jordana is like, oh, you know what? I changed my mind. Can you get a gray tuxedo? And he's kind of doing it because he doesn't really have to do all the running around. It's Eve. So he's like, okay, now it's gray. And she's like, oh my God, I spent my whole day. I got your suit tailored and now you want to switch it up again.
Right.
So this is, you know.
He's a tough boss to please,
he
for sure.
is. And he just keeps it coming with the demands, you know. But I wanted to take a brief moment to say, you know, thank you for watching. And if you can make sure to go to iTunes and tell a friend and rate and comment.
Yeah, comment on YouTube. We definitely love reading those. I mean, we love bringing you this free content. So the more you guys do that, the more free content we can share with you.
And it only takes a minute. And I think now we can get into predictions.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay. So I predict that, well, we kind of went over that, but that the affair with Corinne and the Alex, I don't know about you, but I kind of think Alex might be getting close to possibly having an affair with the girl in the hospital.
Interesting. Okay. Bold statement.
It's bold.
I disagree. I mean, he's very nested in his home life, so I don't think he's going to ruin that. But I think he's going to push the boundaries a little bit and possibly get caught again. Something
Really?
where Rush has to save him, and
So you don't think it has anything? You don't think he's gonna? Because I just sense.
No, I think he gets basically a natural high from
the
that.
attention.
Exactly, the attention, and feels good helping someone out and feeling like you're the only person that they can come to, like you're their savior, their shining armor. So I think he's going to continue doing that. I think it's going to catch up with him, just like the blood bag episode did. And I think he's gonna come clean. He wants to be Rush, but he can't be Rush. Is my
This
thing.
is true. He can't. But I do think the situation with Alex and his wife is gonna have to come to a head because she's a handful.
She is. I mean, she's too much.
She's too much, and he's now if not, then he's gonna get the confidence to maybe stand up to her. I mean, he has stood up to her a little bit, but, maybe the tables will turn because he's going to get that boost at work from having a little edge to him, which, because before, I mean, Rush is the man, and so that's his best friend, and here he is, Mr. Squarebox,
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's nice to see him grow a little bit, like as a person, and sort of, find his boundaries.
Come into his own and have that little, okay, he's willing to do some stuff now. And he may get too comfortable because Rush's dad saved him and he's going to think he might always have a way out. Who knows?
Right.
But I think, and then, of course, the situation with Corinne and then Warren and how that's going to all play out. And then we're going to have to find out about JP.
I know. Yeah, I think we'll get... I think they're going to take a pause on the Corinne dad situation for at least an episode because we just got a lot of that. And then I think we're going to hopefully get some answers about this whole JP scenario.
Yeah, because we need to know how many episodes now?
Yeah.
Like 3? They've been talking about him for the whole time. We need to know. It's time.
Right. I mean, we're invested. We are. We just finished episode 5. We need
to know
answers. And I feel like this series is pretty good about establishing everything that's going on in this universe and really discussing the problems. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on, and because of the nature of being a doctor, you meet new characters, and that kind of keeps that going. But it's nice that we have a great understanding of Rush's character, his home life, his background, and sort of his friends and family around him.
Yeah.
So that's cool. But
Sorry.
Yeah, no.
And I think the other thing is Eve working. I think she's going to have to be like he's taking advantage or taking her for granted a little bit. And I think there might be a little something, where it's like, look, you have to stop and appreciate her.
Right. I mean, she did get the 40% of the stock options, so that's pretty good. I mean, I was very glad that she negotiated with Rush.
I love that.
Specifically before you know, taking it to the next level.
Smart businesswoman.
Yeah, and really, like, it stood her ground. Like, that was a great move. I was really happy that they put that in.
Yeah, I love that as
like,
well.
No, like, this is happening.
And it was
like,
60-40 in the end, so she came out pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, with that deal is probably going to be
some good money.
Pretty good. Set them up for a while. I mean,
yeah.
She talked about the masseuse at Google, I believe it was.
He was like a multimillionaire.
Right, yeah. And was making like $400 a week. Now,
but they got the stock option, yeah. And so in the end, it was pretty cool. So Rush is like, I'm not going to let this woman tell me what to wear, and he wears what he wants to wear.
Well,
to go to the premiere.
Finally admits that it just those other tuxes weren't him, and he is Daniel Craig.
And he's
Daniel Craig's
He put it on, and he looks so handsome. And then he gets, you know, on
Midnight
the red carpet. Yeah, he was killing it. And he gets on the red carpet, and then he was like, you know, you should let people take the lead once in a while. Maybe you'll like it.
Right.
And then they're like, who are you? What's your name? And then she's like, well, let him tell you. And he's like, Rush. William Rush.
Of course, the classic play on James Bond.
So I thought that was really
no, that was a nice little touch. It was very cool, especially because he's in that tux and on the red carpet. It was a very cool way to end it, like in LA, like in the Hollywood scene.
Totally.
Very cool.
And he is in the fast lane.
Absolutely.
You would think it could.
This was his Sunday. So
totally.
I mean,
yeah, his Sunday. And you would think he could go no faster.
Right.
And then Sunday comes around and the guy is like, I just cannot believe.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he's done all of this we talked about before like 6:30, which is when he had to meet Jordana.
Yeah.
So
what a day.
A lot in to a small day.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I think he woke up very early from the nightmare, but still.
He woke up early.
He accomplished a lot. We should all be so lucky.
If we can do that much in a day.
Yeah, exactly. So there was one right after that, the teaser I just want to discuss really quick before we go. They set it up so we will see Sarah again, which we knew always.
We've been waiting to see her,
exactly. Looks like she's got a new boyfriend, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there for sure.
And you can tell he's going to be jealous about that. He's not.
He is. He's not the type that just lets stuff go.
He's going to give him a hard time, and you know it's perfect timing because he needs like a calming force in his life right now. Like
he needs someone real. I mean, to date that he only has her basically as a real person in his life. Everybody else is just there for a night or his dad's
hustling and everyone. Even Eve, she's there, but she's busy hustling for him. So, and you know, this is Sarah. He needs her. So I'm glad to see that she's going to be coming back, and hopefully, but he's going to scare the boyfriend away.
I mean, there's going to be conflict. I think maybe he won't like get into a physical altercation, but he's definitely going to create the triangle and make it very awkward.
He's going to do something.
Yeah.
Who knows what he'll be up to next week. We look forward to it.
We'll have to wait and see.
Definitely. And where can they find you on social media?
You guys can find me at JB_Zimmerman on Twitter and Instagram.
And you can find me at Yvonne Maisonette on Twitter and at entertainmentcrush.com. Thank you guys. Catch you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.